Is the Paperwhite Kindle worth it? Lucky for you, I have one and I'm gonna tell you about it, if I enjoy it, what I like about it, the pros, the cons, just everything about it. For reference, I have a Kindle Paperwhite that is the 11th generation. I got this a few years ago and I was trying to look it up and I don't know if they still sell the 11th generation. They might only have the 12th and up. I honestly don't know how many generations there are or anything about them. I have the most basic model that I could get at the time, and I also got it where you have advertisements, which is one of my issues with it. It is something that you can pay to not have, but we'll get into that later. So here's what the Kindle looks like. It's like the size of my head. I decorated it with some stickers. I have it in like the navy blue jean color, whatever they call it. And when I bought this case. It's just like the cheapest plastic case. I think it was like $5-6. So I have my Kindle off right now, but on its screen it has a little graphic about the Kindle. Typically when the screen is like this, it will show an advertisement. Typically it's an advertisement for the Kindle itself or for like Amazon or other books. And a lot of times the books that it does display like this will be like romance books where like the guy's shirtless, and like when I pick up my Kindle and I see that, it's kind of a jump scare. But at the bottom here you have a charger and then you have your on button, so we turn it on. Mine is just black and white. I think there might be colored Kindles now. I know the Kobo has a colored edition. Personally, I don't know if the color is worth it. I think the black and white works perfectly fine, because the only part for coloring that really matters is you would see the covers of books, you would see the colors of them, or like your home screen would have like a color. I do think color would be so much more nice for highlighting, because when you highlight in the book, it just turns like a little gray color. Because like when I highlight something, it's just like a gray tone, which it works, but like it's not like cute, and it's kind of like Okay, let's actually get into it. I'm gonna go through the pros of the Kindle and the features that I enjoy before I like dive into the cons. My first pro about this Kindle, and is the main reason I bought it and the main reason I would repurchase an e-reader in the future, and that's reading at night. Since it's a Kindle and it's like an actual screen, you couldn't see it at night like your phone screen. You can adjust the brightness, because like here it looks more like a screen, but when you have it all the way down, it's crazy that this like doesn't look like an actual screen. It just looks like a display of a screen, which I think is insane, the technology of it. And you can also make it warmer or colder. I personally like it more towards the warm side. And having this at night is just so nice because it's so easy to see. It's not straining your eyes like being on your phone at night. And you don't need a nightlight to be able to read. If you share a room or share a bed, then if you're reading at night, it's not gonna really bother the person by you, unlike a book light, which is just kind of annoying. Also, just reading in bed with this is so much easier than having to hold a book in bed, like especially when you're tired. This just going so much easier. Okay, also the screen makes it perfect to read in the sun. If you're preferring to read a digital book over a physical book, reading on your phone or laptop a lot of times doesn't work in the sun, like you just can't see the screen. But this screen, you can actually see it in the sun because of the weird paper whiteness of it, which I love. I've also had issues reading books in the sun because the paper is white and then the sun just hits it and like burns into my eyes. So it's not the most pleasant reading experience, but this makes it better. Another pro about this is just the size of the Kindle. Since it is just like your phone or like iPad, it's very slim and tiny and it's easy to bring with you. Unlike a book, sometimes books can be really thick, especially if you're reading a book that's like 1,000 pages long. Lugging that around can be really annoying. So having it digitally may be more appealing, especially just reading a big book in general can be like, it just like weighs your hands down. Compared to this, doesn't. You can just easily throw this in your bag, compared to having a book in your bag can get damaged, even in the book sleeve. And traveling with books can be difficult. This takes up less space. So space-wise, I think this is perfect. Okay, so some features on the Kindle I love. First of all, we've looked at it, the highlighting. The highlighting I love, you can just click and then you drag your finger and then you let go. So typically it will just highlight, sometimes it asks stuff and then you have to like click the button. I do have to say, if you like watch, it does take like a second to like actually highlight it. Also with the Kindle, you can select words, you just click on it, and then below here, it will give you a definition from a dictionary. I was reading a book for my class on here and it used a lot of big words I didn't know, and it was so easy for me to just like highlight it and then search it up with the dictionary on the Kindle, which also I think when I'm reading a physical book and I don't know a word, I'll just go past it because I don't feel like picking up my phone to look up what the definition is. And also when I do pick up my phone, then I end up scrolling through other things, and it just makes it so easy, and then I'm actually learning new words as I'm reading. But also with your highlighting, when you do highlight something, it does save it, and in the book you can see everything that you highlighted. Yeah, you can see everything you highlighted. And also the Kindle does connect to your Goodreads account because they are both Amazon. So on Goodreads, you can publish your highlights that you made in your Kindle book, and you can see the highlights that you made on your Kindle book on Goodreads, which I think is cool. Also with the book, there's a search option and you can search for a word or search for any, like trying to find a scene in the book, and you like search up a line from it. It will take you directly to it. Also, if you search up a word or something, it will show you all the highlights you made that contain that word, which is really useful if you're using a book for research, which I was reading a book for a different class of mine and I was able to easily look through what I highlighted in the research I've done. So my mom has a Prime account, and so with that on the Kindle you have Prime Reading, which is basically they'll have a few books. They honestly have a lot of books that you can read for free with your Prime account. They'll have like a few very popular books or popular authors. Like one they have right now is The Intruder by Frida McFadden. Like they have some like really book talk popular books, and they also have like a bunch of classics. Like I feel like every classic type book is on Prime. Like they have The Odyssey, they have Pride and Prejudice, they have A Picture of Dorian Gray. I haven't read any of those, but they are on Prime. And then they have like a bunch of authors you probably never heard of, and they can be fun to check out. Also, it will show you the ratings of star ratings of the book and people's ratings, so it makes it really easy for you to decide if you want to actually read that book. And then Kindle also offers a service called Kindle Unlimited, and I don't know how much you have to pay. I'll put on the screen how much it is, but you pay for it, and then there's certain books in Kindle Unlimited that you get to read, and they typically have a way bigger selection than the Prime Reading because you're actually like paying an additional fee on it. And my last pro, you can get ebooks onto your Kindle from the library. With my library system, they have ebooks available and I'm able to download them on here. You do it through your phone because like you're in your library app on your phone and you click the ebook, and then you have to log into your Amazon account, and then it can transfer onto your Kindle. But I also know there's a library app called Libby. I've yet to check it out, but I've heard Brianna Kay say a lot about it and she uses it a lot. Now moving on to my cons. My biggest con is it takes a while to load. I feel like it's so slow to load, and I can't remember if the Kindle app on my phone is that slow to load. It's freezing on me. Are you gonna work now? Now it's opening the book. Okay, there we go. It just feels extremely slow, and I do get very frustrated at it because I'm just like, load. My other con, like I mentioned earlier, is when I have my screen off, it is just like advertisements. This one saying Kindle Unlimited and then showing some books on Kindle Unlimited. I've seen people make it so that their Kindle cover is the book they're reading, which I think is really nice, or they were able to download an image and make it the cover of their Kindle. Like I mentioned earlier when I was showing you the highlight feature, it doesn't always register right away and it takes a while to load. My other con is ebooks are still pretty expensive. They're cheaper than normal books, but I feel like they still range from like $11 to $15 for an ebook. I feel like I've seen like $18 for an ebook. Obviously it depends on the book, but to me that just seems like a lot for something I don't even physically own, because I can justify more spending on a book when I physically have it and it has the pretty design of the cover and it's like a thick book. But when it's on the Kindle, it just feels like, oh, that was $15, but it doesn't feel like it's real. And then it's like, and then I also have to pay like $150 for the Kindle. I've rarely actually bought a book. I've tried to stick to Prime reading and library books. My other con just in general with ebooks is you don't physically own the book, which I like to display my books. As you can see on my bookshelf behind me, I have some books and I have books scattered around my room. And I like displaying, I like having the physical book. Sometimes I don't like holding a screen. I want to be holding an actual book and feel the pages on my hand and the smell of the books. And especially if you're trying to save money, you don't want to buy an ebook and then also buy a physical book. If I read the book on the Kindle, then I don't get to actually have the book. That's also how I feel with just getting books from the library in general. Because I read a book and I want to like put it on my shelf as an accomplishment, like I finished reading this. My overall conclusion on the Kindle is I do think it's worth it. I've used it, I've enjoyed it. There are some cons with it, but I think everything you buy has some issues with it, but the issues aren't something that's gonna like make me turn away from buying the Kindle. I could see myself repurchasing a Kindle in the future once this one stops working or gets ruined, which says a lot about a product if I'm willing to repurchase it. The Kindle, it has the basic necessities you need for reading an ebook. I think with the addition you get of the Kindle just depends on how often you plan on using it. If you plan on only reading ebooks and you don't read physical ebooks, then I would probably recommend investing in one of the more advanced editions of the Kindle. But if you're like me and you just casually read on the Kindle, or you sometimes go months without reading on your Kindle, then the basic model is what you're gonna want. I wouldn't recommend spending more money on the fancier models because you're just not going to use it that often. Compared to other e-readers, this is the only kind of e-reader I've used. I think I would probably try a different e-reader just for fun when this one doesn't work anymore, because I've heard some good things about the Kobo. And sometimes I'm just like sick of Amazon because I feel like Amazon is everywhere and everything I have, there's just too much Amazon. And if I didn't currently have a Kindle, I would buy one simply just to read at night. It's a lifesaver with reading at night. In conclusion, an e-reader is worth it. The Kindle Paperwhite Basic Edition is worth it. It does have its flaws, but there's so many pros to having an e-reader. If you're debating on getting an e-reader and you have the money to spend on one, I would recommend. The Kindle is worth it in my opinion. I hope this information helped you come to a conclusion on if you want to buy one or not. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more book content, I post other book videos. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.